Hey guys, so this is going to be my second movie and my four movie October, watch. And this is actually going to be Them. And it's a complete coincidence that I've chosen another movie to watch that's also a giant insect movie. I watched Mimic and this one I have seen before. It's one of the ones I loved growing up. My parents had like a VHS tape of it, and I would watch it. So I haven't seen it in probably in like a year or so. So rewatching it again, I think would be really fun and interesting. It is a '50s movie, so once again, when it comes to like horror movies in that time period, I'm still kind of, especially when it comes to like giant monster movies, I'm kind of nostalgic. So yeah, let's just get started and watch Them. Warner Brothers. When it didn't fill me with rage. You know, it's funny because like that kind of, oh, James Arness. I know that name from Thing from Another World. I love that movie so much. But like the font, the opening font with the name of the movie, that reminded me very much of Thing from Another World. And I kind of love that font. Kind of miss that font for like current movies.
5W to 301A. Go ahead, Johnny.
I think we're chasing the wind, Ben. Maybe the guy who sent in that report drank his breakfast. We might as well cut it.
I'm wondering if I can figure out who James Arness is from, like the way they walk and everything. Because he played the creature in Thing from Another World, but I don't know what he actually looks like. So it's gonna be interesting to see if I can figure out.
Wait a minute. What are you doing out here, honey? Honey.
So it wasn't a thief
This blood
because
must be
they
10,
left all
12
the money.
hours old. Whatever happened here must have happened either last night or early this morning.
I like how they're not actually picking up the gun with their own hands. It also kind of just that in him determining how long based on the blood. It does kind of show how smart the characters are already. That they're not just cops, they're detectives.
Look, Ed, put in a call. Wait a minute.
So they already haven't found any bodies, indicating that whoever did this has taken their bodies with them. Or has eaten them. Well, guess we finally found a body.
Somebody wanted to knock off Gramps. Why tear down half the building to do it?
I put in a call to check all mental institutions. Everything seems to indicate a homicidal maniac. I mean, there's no money stolen, violent wreckage, just sugar taken.
That's being checked, but it's a waste of time, too.
I don't know. Maniac wouldn't really do the amount of damage that was done. Because literally the entire front of the store is completely wrecked. If anything, he would probably go in the door and wreck the door, but I guess it's just trying to rationalize with what you know actually exist. You don't think that there are giant bugs doing this because you don't know of any giant bugs.
Glad to get off that desert, sure. Must have been 110 out there today, at least.
Captain Edwards, this is Robert Graham from the FBI office in Alamogordo.
Oh, how are you?
How do you do?
Sit down.
Thank you.
kind of suspecting this is James Arness just because he's extremely tall and the creature was really tall.
Mr. Gray, we cannot tell you until we're absolutely certain of our theory. Now, I'd like to first stop off at the drugstore and then go and see the little Ellinson girl.
She's still in shock, Doctor. She hasn't talked yet.
And after the girl, I want to examine the territory where you...
And of course, he's able to figure out how to get her out of her shock.
The goggles, Doctor.
What about them?
You're supposed to wear them on over your eyes.
Because they're the same
thank you.
sort.
Thanks. Yes, yes.
I do think it's kind of funny the goggles that they have that they had then.
Look at it, Doctor. It's gigantic. Over 12 centimeters. 12.
That would make the entire...
About 2.5 meters in length. Over 8 feet.
Yep, they're able to determine the size by comparing it to actual ant sizes versus the size of the print. This is when the giant bug appears.
Found anything yet?
Say over.
I just said it.
I know, say it again.
Over.
Baker to Abel. Not yet. We're about 3
Oh
away
man,
across our
that
sector.
just makes me
We're now
flash
at
back to that
coordinates Charlie
joke.
6, over.
If you finish, say over and out.
But she knows I'm through talking.
I know she does, Doctor. It's a rule, though. You gotta say it. Isn't that right, General?
Right, sir. This is ridiculous.
It's a rule.
A lot of good you're...
All right, Brian, I'm going to go up to the upper level and run this wire down through the wall. Grab your walkie. I'll call you when I get up there. Okay. Brian, pick up. Over. What? Brian, please say over when you finish talking. Over. What? Over. Do you see the wire yet? Over. No. No what? Over. No, over. Okay, I'm going to start feeding it through. Over. Wait, if you haven't started feeding it, why'd you ask me if I could see it? Didn't copy that. Over. I said, why'd you ask me if I could see it if you haven't started feeding it? Over. Oh, that's better. I can hear you now. Over. Do you see it yet? Over. You know, you're a jackass. For the record, I don't want to hang out with you anymore when this is over. When this is what, Brian? Over. I said I don't want to hang out with you anymore when this is over. When this is what? You got to finish your sentence. Over. That's it. My sentence is over. Your sentence is what, Brian? Over. My sentence is... Wait a minute. I have to say over even if the sentence ends with the word over? Ends with the word what, Brian? Over. Oh, I see the wire. You see the wire what? Over. Over!
You gotta wonder how they survived that long. They are giant as hell, and I'm assuming they probably have a lot of members, so they'd have to eat a lot of food. So where are they getting the food? Do they just eat animals? Have they been eating like humans this entire time, but people just haven't noticed until now?
Boy, if I can still raise an arm when we get out of this place, I'm going to show you just how well saturated I can get.
I'm with you. Well, if I were a younger man,
Uh-oh, the woman's coming up, so they're gonna fucking
What are you made up?
throw a tantrum.
I'm going with you and Ben.
Oh, no, you're not.
Of course. It's not gonna be because she just doesn't have the experience or skills. It's gonna be because
That
she's a
leaves you
woman.
here. Now look, we don't know what we're going to find down there or what'll happen. And there's one thing for sure. It's no place for you or any other woman.
I didn't ask...
Exactly! It was never about her not having the skills or anything like that. It was about her being woman.
This is what I was afraid of.
What's the matter, Pat?
They're empty.
One hatched, and it's another queen that goes to another place and creates another colony.
How about your superiors? Do they know that these lethal creatures are causing the crimes committed in your desert?
No, sir, they don't. General O'Brien and Dr. Medford felt that...
Oh, the good old days when literally everybody was fucking smoking. But then, of course, when, you know, at that time, it was probably more like a sign of, like, privilege or something. Or maybe a social habit, I guess.
Technically, she should be referred to as a princess until after the mating flight. Now there is a close shot of a winged...
Flash to Bug's life with Princess Ada.
As you can see, ants are savage, ruthless, and courageous fighters. This fight lasted 72 hours between those two alone.
Damn. That's actually pretty
Ants are the
impressive.
only creatures on Earth
but I guess they're stronger. They're able to lift so much, so I guess, a physical fight, it would last a long time for them to actually kill each other.
Won't you please tell us what you saw, Mr. Grody?
I've already told those head-shrinking doctors 4 dozen times. I'm sick of telling them. I tell them I get laughed at or clucked over or laughed at.
Why does he remind me so much of Charlie
Promise
Sheen?
not to laugh.
Doctor, what do those flags on the big map indicate?
Well, these 4 indicate locations where we found dead male ants. The most recent finding was about...
Do you know what I like about these kind of movies now, or at least this movie in particular? They actually have rational conversations instead of yelling and being dicks about it. I like this kind of format so much better. Makes them seem more rational, I guess, instead of just trying to be hard asses. Let me guess. It has sugar in it.
Into?
I told you, any trouble, I'll be right outside the ward.
He won't give us any trouble. Hello, Jensen. How are you?
How do, gentlemen? You too, officer. Looking for recruits?
No, not today, Mike.
Ah, yes. I remember this guy. He plays in The Blob, and he plays the old man that gets, he's the first victim of The Blob. I love that movie. I've seen it every year, so I recognize him immediately. And the voice is very distinctive.
Here's tire marks. They're pretty new tires. Lodge had new tires on his car, didn't he?
Yeah.
So if he had tire marks, what the fuck was he doing down here with his 2 kids that would make him like the victim to these creatures? Because I'm assuming this is just like leads into like this sewage or some shit. So what were they doing down here? Was he just showing his kids a sewage place?
Wait. Why all these VIPs from Washington? Has the Cold War gotten hot?
Gentlemen.
The Cold War. I'm assuming this is what it's all about. The threat of nuclear war that happened during the Cold War led to speculation and fears about what would happen if nuclear war happened, i.e. giant insects.
Yeah, I see what you mean. We not only have her to think of, but as I told you before, we can't risk fire until we know whether any new queens have hatched and flown out of this nest. Where's General O'Brien?
He's right over there by the command car, Doctor.
Thank you very much. Can we start now, General? Well, I think so. How about it, Major?
Well, not yet, sir. We're waiting for more coverage to the north.
Contact the northern unit, soldier.
Northern units come in.
Why does he remind me of Santa from, or Claus at least, from, was it Miracle on 43rd Street? I have not seen that movie in forever. So give me a like if you want me to actually react to that movie when Christmas rolls around. The old version, mind you. Although I wouldn't be adverse to reacting to the newest or the remake with the girl that played Madeline, right? Matilda. The girl that played Matilda in Matilda. So, yeah. Give me a like if you want me to react to those 2 movies when Christmas comes around.
Peterson and Drain 223.
Repeat, Peterson and 223. We're in 6/10 of a mile. Nothing to report. Over.
This is Kibby in drain 192. Repeat, Kibby in 192. In 8/10 of a mile. Nothing to report. Over.
And just after they say that, they get packed. Right.
Wait a minute. Hold it. Come on.
Of course, they're the main characters, so you know that they're not gonna die. So that was the end. They, I guess, find the nest, and that's it. They burn them. But I guess, unlike like in modern movies where they have like the cutscene to the creature still alive or some shit like this, this one is actually, they actually like hint it through dialogue. Well, we don't know what's gonna happen because of nuclear war and all that shit. So that's kind of their hint at what if, you know, maybe they're not exactly gone, or there might be more creatures like them, or just more animals that have mutated. So, so that was my reaction to them. I kept trying to react to this as both having seen it, but also, well, what if I hadn't seen this? Would I have enjoyed this movie just based on the story? And they did do a lot in developing and showing just what they went through to try to figure out what exactly these things were and where they went. That would, I think, build story to make it more interesting, because they go to all these different people to get their like statements so that they can figure out where exactly they are. And then we also get a lot about these ants in particular, because they're obviously ants and they're going with what they know about ants at that time. And so I did kind of like that aspect of it. It's also a kind of movie that just, it's nostalgic for me, and so I can just put this on, listen to it in background, and it would be so like relaxing, because it just brings back so many memories, great memories, growing up. But also, if I end up just becoming interested in the story, I can just sit down and watch it and enjoy it. So it's kind of one of those movies. I also like that it's like a 50s movie, and so you get the kind of effects and more like simplistic, I guess, or maybe just, you know, interested in seeing how what they did then differs than what they do now, because it's also like, I love horror. No matter what time period, I love horror. It's fascinating to see how horror has evolved over the decades, I guess. And so yeah. So, David Arnaz. What was his first name again? I completely forgot already. Arnaz is his last name, and he played the creature, I think, if I'm correct, in the Thing from Another World. Trying to figure out who exactly he was. I think he's an FBI agent, so let's see if I'm actually right. I think his name was James, wasn't it? Haha. I was right. Because he looks the same. Yeah, it's James Arnaz. Obviously, I could tell because he was like the tallest character in the movie, so. And the features themselves were kind of similar from what I remember. I just, that and the height kind of made me think that he was David Arnaz. Or James Arnaz. So, yeah. I'm kind of curious as to if he plays in other movies I've seen or are interested in seeing. Because he's already played twice in movies that I enjoy, so it should be interesting to see if there's like any ones I just didn't realize he's in at the time. Okay. So as far as I can tell, these are the only two sci-fi, I guess, / horror. Might be one other that he actually stars in that I've seen. I know pretty much everything else he stars in is westerns, because I know he starred in Gunsmoke. Never seen it, but so yeah. I did not like how once again we get this like with the women, and, you know, they have to do the whole guy's misogynistic towards her because she's a woman, not because he's skilled in her field or unskilled in her field and doesn't know what she's doing. Nope, it's literally just because she's a woman. So you can literally be a man and do stupid shit, apparently, but if you're a woman, then you have to make sure to, you know, prevent her from doing something you don't like. So the fact that I was able to predict that exactly was kind of infuriating. But once again, when it comes to watching these movies from these time periods, I kind of expect that, and so I go in with that kind of mentality. And maybe it's just, you know, as a block to, you know, because I love the monster element of the movie, that I just block out the more misogynistic elements of the movies. So yeah, so that was my reaction to them. So keep an eye out for the next movie I'll be doing, and you guys have a nice day. Stay safe out there. Talk to you later.